Just want to let you lot know that if you're watching this clip on the Fozcast YouTube channel, the full episode is now available to watch exclusively on Spotify, and it's free. Come on. Talk about Harry Kane quickly then. Just, if on a striker level, what is it when you watch him, you just go, oh, that's brilliant.
So, like, in the possessions and stuff, he did everything. It looked like it was slow motion, but he was so good at, like, using his body that it didn't matter what speed he did it, because he was going to keep the ball and just move it on. And then when it came to finishing, it didn't matter what foot it was on. It just was, like, clean. Like, when you watch golf and yes. Like, I hit it and I'll hit it with the bottom of the club sometimes. It feels horrible. But like a pro, it looks smooth and clean. Every time, like, every finish, it just looked crisp.
Contact.
Ball strike, contact was just unreal. And that was the one thing that I took away, that in the shooting drills, regardless of whether it went in or off target, it was never a bad connection.
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it?
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Before you came in, I went on to AI.
Right.
And asked AI. I'll tell you exactly what I asked AI. I said, give me a podcast running order for a podcast with Patrick Bamford. And it's come up with the Bamford Files as a section.
So it's gone rogue here and just gone, it's like made up something mad.
Yeah, well, yeah. So first question was, when did you realise you'd make it as a footballer? This is AI. Right. Second question is, how posh are you on a scale from 1 to Downton Abbey?
This is from AI.
This is from AI. From 1 to Downton Abbey.
It does. It says 1 to Downton Abbey.
Oh, do you know
How
what?
ridiculous
I've
is
never
that?
watched it, so I don't know how posh Downton Abbey
Are
is.
you posh?
I think if you put me in a room full of normal footballers, yes.
Where were you born?
But I'm not actually posh, so I'm from Newark, which, if you've been to Newark.
No.
Where's that? Lincolnshire?
Yeah, so it was Nottinghamshire. But so no, Newark's not a posh town. My mum, she works now she works from home, but she had like a beauty salon, like a little one, just in the town centre.
Yeah.
And then my dad was an architect.
Were you always aware of the kind of how rich Patrick Bamford is kind
Yeah,
of?
because I got it all the time about JCB.
Yeah.
Just because of the last name.
I was going to see if you could get us on.
Like,
Do you know how many people have asked me? Like, the old kit man at Derby used to text me all the time, can you get me on JCB course? I can't even get on myself, mate.
We fully believe this. You know this, right?
Really?
Everyone, like all the footballers believed it. I used to believe this. I used
Really?
to think, why is he slogging it out in the championship? Like, why does he need to do this, right? His family are worth billions. Like, you don't need to put yourself through this, Patrick.
I wish that. I don't know if they are related way, way back, but I don't know any of them. So, like, my dad's side, his, like, mum and dad, and then those cousins, nothing to do with it. My mum's side are all Irish. So
Damn.
Yeah, so AI has been a little bit cheeky today, but one of the questions is unexpected talent showcase, musical moment, speaking another language, and then we've got here about your hidden talents, bilingual guitar.
Do you speak another language?
So, yeah, I can speak French. So with the French boys, I can speak and understand it.
Yeah.
But if they speak together, like, I'll have to ask them to slow down a bit. But I can get involved in their conversations.
I think when French people talk together, they sound like they're about to have a fight.
Yeah, really aggressive.
It's really aggressive.
Really aggressive. And it's so fast as well. And I always say to them, like, just slow down, because I've missed a bit there. But so French, I'd say, like, I could go live in France and I'd be fine. Spanish, I never did, and French is just because I did it at school, just studied it all the way up. Spanish, I never did, but under Marcelo, we obviously had the translator. And just from listening to Marcelo, then watching the translator and doing that for a few years, I can understand pretty much, like, a lot of Spanish.
Wow.
But I can't speak it. So it's like, I can't really speak any of it.
You can understand, you can't reply.
Yeah, but I can get, like, if I was listening to a conversation, I could probably get like 60, 70% of what it's about, regardless of, even if it's not about football.
I think certain people, it sounds like you're one, have got a natural ear for dialect.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah.
Because I've tried learning languages and I'm just useless. But then again, saying that though, if you're immersed in it, it's very different, isn't it? Like you said with the translator, it becomes easier if you're there in it every day, doesn't it?
Yeah, and like, also, I did German at school, but like, all I remember from German is like the real basics.
Yeah.
But I feel like just because I know that and I'm pretty good at French, I feel like if I lived in Germany, I'd be able to pick it up pretty quick.
Quick answers on Bielsa. Legend?
Yeah,
Legend?
best I've had, yeah.
Really?
By a mile as well.
Really?
And that's no disrespect to any of the other managers because I've had some really good ones.
Well, how did it go wrong for Bielsa at Leeds? What was it that didn't work? Because that first season was like, I've never seen anything like that before.
Do you know what? This might be me kind of... I feel like the biggest thing was in that second season, the spine of our team was injured.
Yeah.
So Coops got injured for quite a while. Calvin got injured and I got injured, which were 3 through the middle of the team, which I think doesn't help. And then I also think... So that was part of it. And then part of it was a lot of the teams now... We were a bit of a surprise factor in the first year. A lot of the teams knew what we did and knew kind of how to combat it. And as players, that meant we needed to be at 100% of what he wanted to do every time. We just weren't in that second
Do you remember that first game of the season, that Liverpool game, wasn't
4-3
it? 4-3. It was on it was like the Friday night game, and everyone was thinking this is going to be 7-0 to Liverpool. This is, and everybody finished watching it and just went, "Oh wow, this is going to be carnage this season."
Right, and do you know what? We lost that. So normally after a loss, you go in the changing room and you're like, downbeat. Everyone went in and just, I think you could see on all the lads' faces, we can do this.
Yeah, we're going to be all right.
We can match these.
Yeah, you were a horrible player against that team.
Yeah, relentless, weren't we?
Horrible.
That departure for Bielsa was one of the strangest managerial departures I've ever seen in football.
I get the impression he's like
just loved.
He just like
But
if he wants to be there, be there, and if not, see you later. That'll do.
Yeah, I think that he'd earned so much respect from all the fans. Like Leeds fans absolutely adore him. Like I've seen pictures of people named bars in their back garden about him and just random things. Like he could come back to Leeds, he'll never have to pay for anything again at Leeds pretty much for the rest of his life. But he was that kind of guy that he couldn't stop working. So I think he loved football was probably an understatement. Like was obsessed with football.
Yeah.
And I remember after he came in and said goodbye, and he said he never does this. Wherever he's left before, he's never come back in and spoke to the players. But he came in the next day and he had a meeting with us, and it was sad because he got like emotional, but he didn't want to see any of the players after. He just walked out, kind of shook hands, had a hug. And then I went the day after, and I was praying that he hadn't flown already. And I went to his house, and I just knocked on the door, and I went to say thank you, obviously, because everything had done. And he was in there with 2 of his analysts, one of the women who like looks after all kind of the news stuff, and he was watching football, analysing it. I was just like, you know what, fair play. He took 10 minutes to like sit and talk to me, but I interrupted him working. I was like, wow, you just literally just left the club 2 days ago.
Can't get enough.
Yeah. So.
What a legend.
Thanks everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed this clip of the Fozcast. If you would like to watch the full episode, it is now available exclusively on Spotify for free.